I used to believe I was safe because I lived carefully. I did not drink. I walked every day. I took my medicine. And yet, one morning at 6:17 a.m., as the kettle was boiling, my hand did not reach for the cup. It just floated there, like it forgot what hands are supposed to do. I tried to speak, but the words hit a wall inside my throat. No warning, no drama, just silence and shame. That moment lasted less than 60 seconds, but it split my life in two, before and after. Before, I trusted my body. After, I watched it like a stranger. I feared being alone in the house. I avoided stairs. I counted every pill. I checked my face in the mirror 10 times a day, looking for droop, for damage, for signs I did not understand. And I remember thinking, how did someone so careful, get ambushed like this? Turns out I was not ambushed. I was warned. I just did not know how to listen. Research now shows that over 70% of stroke survivors had clear symptoms, small, quiet clues, within days or even hours before the full stroke. But those clues are not loud. They are not dramatic. They are whispers, a moment of dizziness, a stumble, a word lost mid-sentence. We brush them off. Fatigue, we say, maybe low blood sugar. We lie to ourselves because we are scared. But ignorance is not safety. It is silence before the siren. The good news is that recovery and even prevention does not require expensive treatments or fancy devices. What it does require is presence. A simple daily practice to restore blood flow, stabilize the nervous system, and reconnect with our body's early warning signs. In this 10-part guide, I will walk you through 5 essential tools to listen to your body again. No equipment needed, just 10 to 20 minutes per day, tailored for people over 60, joint safe, and grounded in real science. We will break 5 dangerous myths, and we will rebuild trust. One signal, one step, one breath at a time. Because what took my strength was not the stroke, it was the belief that I had no control. But the truth is, healing does not begin in a hospital. It begins when you stop ignoring yourself. So today, all I ask is this. Before the day ends, open a notebook or your phone and write down any odd sensation you have felt this week. A flicker in the hand, a dizzy step, a strange fatigue. Just one sentence. And tomorrow morning, look at it again. No pressure, no judgment. Just start listening. I used to believe I was safe because I lived carefully. I did not drink. I walked every day. I took my medicine. And yet, one morning at 6:17 a.m., as the kettle was boiling, my hand did not reach for the cup. It just floated there, like it forgot what hands are supposed to do. I tried to speak, but the words hit a wall inside my throat. No warning, no drama, just silence and shame. That moment lasted less than 60 seconds. But it split my life in two, before and after. Before, I trusted my body. After, I watched it like a stranger. I feared being alone in the house. I avoided stairs. I counted every pill. I checked my face in the mirror 10 times a day, looking for droop, for damage, for signs I did not understand. And I remember thinking, how did someone so careful, get ambushed like this? Turns out I was not ambushed. I was warned. I just did not know how to listen. Research now shows that over 70% of stroke survivors had clear symptoms, small, quiet clues, within days or even hours before the full stroke. But those clues are not loud. They are not dramatic. They are whispers, a moment of dizziness, a stumble, a word lost mid-sentence. We brush them off. Fatigue, we say. Maybe low blood sugar. We lie to ourselves because we are scared. But ignorance is not safety. It is silence before the siren. The good news is that recovery and even prevention does not require expensive treatments or fancy devices. What it does require is presence. A simple daily practice to restore blood flow, stabilize the nervous system, and reconnect with our body's early warning signs. In this 10-part guide, I will walk you through 5 essential tools to listen to your body again, no equipment needed, just 10 to 20 minutes per day, tailored for people over 60, joint safe, and grounded in real science. We will break 5 dangerous myths. And we will rebuild trust, one signal, one step, one breath at a time. Because what took my strength was not the stroke, it was the belief that I had no control. But the truth is, healing does not begin in a hospital. It begins when you stop ignoring yourself. Tonight, before bed, give yourself 1 quiet minute. Close your eyes, scan from head to toe. Ask, did I feel anything off today? A pause in memory? A stumble? A tingle? Then write down 1 word. Do this for 7 nights. Let it become a gentle habit of awareness. The morning after my mini-stroke, I sat on the edge of my bed, frozen. Not in fear, though that came later, but in stillness. I did not trust my legs. My body felt distant, like it did not belong to me. But then, something strange happened. I started rocking, just slightly, forward and back. My heels lifted, then dropped. My spine shifted. I had not planned it. My body just moved. And with that motion, my panic softened. My breath returned. I was still here. Later, a rehab nurse explained what had happened. She said, "You reactivated your brain through motion." Turns out, small, rhythmic movements, especially those involving balance and proprioception, wake up neural circuits faster than any pill. That is when I found the first tool that changed everything. It is called the heel raise and hold. Sounds simple, and it is. But research from the University of Copenhagen shows that this movement improves blood flow to the brainstem, activates the vagus nerve, and trains balance, all at once. Here is how you do it. Stand near a chair or a wall. Feet shoulder-width apart. Slowly rise up on your toes. 2 seconds up. Hold at the top for 3 seconds. Then come down slowly, 2 seconds down. That is 1 repetition. Try 10 repetitions total. Rest, then repeat for a second set. That is it. No equipment, no risk to your joints, but you are doing 3 things at once. You are pumping blood gently upward. You are retraining your balance. You are calming your autonomic nervous system, the part that controls panic and blood pressure spikes. When I first started, I could barely hold for 2 seconds. My ankles trembled. But after a week, I could stand for 5. By the 3rd week, I did not need the chair anymore. I was not just moving better, I was thinking clearer, sleeping deeper, reacting slower to stress, not to life. You see, stroke recovery does not begin with dramatic workouts. It begins with stillness in motion. The real enemy after 60 is not weakness. It is disconnection from our own center. But we can rebuild it. 1 breath, 1 lift, 1 calm return. Tomorrow morning and again before dinner, stand near a chair. Rise slowly onto your toes, hold for a breath, then return. Do that 10 times. Pause, then try again. Start with 2 rounds a day. No rush. No strain. Let your body feel strong again, 1 lift at a time. I remember lying awake the night after my diagnosis. My body had calmed, but my mind was spinning. What if it happens again while I sleep? What if I do not wake up? What if no one finds me? That fear wrapped around my chest like a belt I could not loosen. I was not having a second stroke, but it felt like it. My heart raced, my fingers tingled, my thoughts spiraled. And then I remembered something the neurologist had said in passing. Slow breathing protects the brain. I did not know what he meant then. But at 2:11 a.m., I tried the only thing I could. I counted my breath. In for 4, hold for 7, out for 8. It felt unnatural at first, like stretching a muscle I had not used in years. But by the fourth round, something shifted. My chest softened. My hands relaxed. The room stopped spinning. That was the first time I slept through the night since the stroke. Later, I learned this was not a fluke. The 4-7-8 breathing technique has been studied across sleep labs and neurology clinics. It activates the vagus nerve, slows the heart, lowers blood pressure, and increases oxygen to the prefrontal cortex, the brain's command center. It is literally a reboot. And for people over 60, it is one of the safest tools we have. No pills, no side effects, just breath, done with intention. When you train your nervous system to pause, your brain begins to trust again. It no longer overreacts to every flutter, every sensation. It returns to rhythm. And rhythm is what strokes try to steal. Here is how you do it. Sit or lie down. Close your eyes if you are comfortable. Inhale gently through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold your breath peacefully for 7 seconds. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 seconds, as if blowing through a straw. That is one cycle. Repeat for 4 full rounds. That is it. Some people feel lightheaded at first. That is okay. Sit upright. Adjust. Build tolerance slowly. Your nervous system is learning safety again, and safety always takes time. Within a week of doing this nightly, I was sleeping better. Within 2, I noticed my blood pressure stabilizing, my brain fog fading. I was not curing anything. I was calming the storm so my body could repair itself. Tonight, before sleep, try 4 simple rounds of 4-7-8 breathing. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8, just once a day. And if your heart feels a little softer afterward, that is your nervous system remembering safety. One morning, about 10 days into recovery, I caught my reflection while brushing my teeth. I froze. The left side of my face looked tired, not drooping exactly, but slower. My eyelid blinked a half-second later than the right. My smile was lopsided. I had not seen it before, or maybe I did not want to. And in that moment, something broke inside me. Not physically, but emotionally. All the hope I had been building, the small victories, the breathing, the balance, it collapsed under one look in the mirror. I whispered to myself, "Is this who I am now?" That was my heartbreak moment. Not the stroke, but realizing how invisible recovery can be, and how quickly we stop noticing ourselves. Later, a speech therapist taught me a simple test called the facial symmetry scan. It is a daily practice used in stroke rehabilitation centers in Japan, especially for seniors living alone. It takes less than a minute. No machines, just your phone, camera, or a mirror, and your attention. Here is how it works. Each morning, look into a mirror and perform 3 movements. Raise both eyebrows. Smile wide, showing your teeth. Puff out your cheeks and hold. Watch carefully. Are both sides moving equally? Is there a delay, a twitch, a difference in strength? If you notice changes, log them. Do not panic. Patterns matter more than perfection. This test is not to diagnose. It is to reconnect. Research from Kyoto University shows that seniors who perform this scan daily after a mini stroke are 42% more likely to catch recurrent symptoms early, often before major damage occurs. You are not just looking for danger, you are reminding your brain to pay attention again, to map the muscles, to stimulate repair, to say, "I am still here." The mirror is not your enemy. It is your accountability partner. Each morning after brushing your teeth, take 1 minute in front of the mirror. Raise your eyebrows. Smile wide. Puff your cheeks. Watch both sides of your face. Not to judge, just to notice. And if something feels different, write it down. You are learning to see yourself again. Next week, record a short selfie video every 3 days, about 10 seconds long. After 1 week, compare them. You will be surprised by how small changes accumulate. If you are watching this far, it means you are serious about your health. Please subscribe and like this video so the algorithm can share this message with millions of people over 60. Comment your age, your city, or simply write the word START if you are just beginning this journey. I read every single one, and I will reply to each. You are not alone in this path. Every movement is a step back to yourself. Every breath is a reminder that you are still alive, and life can be beautiful again. For most of my life, I thought stroke was about pressure, blood pressure, stress pressure, numbers that went up when I was angry and down when I rested. So I did what they told me. I reduced salt, I drank more water, I avoided stress, or at least tried to. I walked every day for 30 minutes. I followed the playbook. And still, it happened. That haunted me for weeks. I felt betrayed by my body, by the system, by the advice that was supposed to protect me. But as I started digging deeper, reading research, talking to specialists, I discovered something shocking. A full 25% of ischemic strokes in seniors happen without high blood pressure. Not low blood pressure, normal, controlled, textbook perfect numbers. So what was causing them? It turns out, stroke is not always about force. It is about flow. When blood cannot flow smoothly because it is thick, inflamed, or blocked by tiny clots, it does not matter what your pressure is. A perfect hose still fails if the water inside is sludgy. And the older we get, the more that flow depends on things no one taught us to track. Hydration, blood thickness, silent inflammation, insulin resistance, even sleep quality. No one ever said to me, your sleep can predict your stroke risk. But a Harvard review showed that seniors sleeping less than 6 hours per night had nearly double the risk of recurrence. No one told me that a blood sugar spike, even if you are not diabetic, can make your blood more sticky, more clot-prone for hours. And no one warned me that dehydration, especially in hot weather, could make the difference between a harmless headache and a catastrophic event. The truth is, most stroke prevention advice was built decades ago. For younger bodies, for a different lifestyle. It is not bad advice, it is just incomplete. And the consequence of incomplete guidance is that we blame ourselves when it fails. We think, I must have done something wrong. No, you just were not told the whole story. But now you know. The real solution is not tighter control, it is better connection, not just to your blood pressure monitor, but to the signals your body gives you all day long. The future of stroke prevention is not just about force, it is about fluidity, flexibility, calm, stable, oxygen, rich blood that knows where to go and how to get there. And that is something you can build. Every breath you have practiced, every heel raise, every mirror check, you are already shifting the terrain of your brain. The storm did not come because you were careless. It came because no one showed you how to predict the weather. That ends now. Starting today, pick 3 signals to gently track. How much water you drink, how many hours you sleep, and whether your body sent you any warning signs. A flutter, a fog, a moment of lightheadedness. Write them in your notebook once a day. You are not measuring perfection. You are noticing patterns. There is a small wooden step outside my kitchen. Just one, 6 inches high. 2 months after my stroke, I stood in front of it for 10 minutes, afraid. Afraid to lift my leg. Afraid to trust my balance. Afraid that I would fall backward and fall back into fear. It is strange how something so small can feel like a mountain. Then I remembered a line from my therapist. The brain rebuilds through challenge, not danger, but challenge. So I did not try to climb, I just stood still. 1 leg, eyes open. 10 seconds. Then 15. Then I fell sideways and laughed. That was the first time I had laughed in weeks, because I realized I had not failed. I had tried, and my brain had noticed. Studies from Kyoto and Boston show that single-leg standing is not just a balance test. It activates proprioception, re-engages core stabilizers, and stimulates new synapse formation in the cerebellum, the brain's balance center. Even better, it predicts vascular aging. People who can stand over 20 seconds on one leg have significantly lower risk of stroke, dementia, and falls. It is not about perfection. It is about practicing presence. Here is how to do it. Stand barefoot near a wall or a counter for safety. Lift one foot slightly off the ground, just an inch is enough. Keep your eyes open, count slowly, focus on a fixed point. Try both sides. You will probably find one leg is weaker. That is okay. That is feedback. Start with 10 seconds. Work up to 30 on each leg. And if you are wobbly, perfect. That is your brain rewiring. That is exactly the point. When I started, I could do 6 seconds on the right, 3 on the left. Now, 28 and 25. But the real progress is this. I do not look at that kitchen step with fear anymore. I step up without thinking. That is freedom. This is not just an exercise. It is a reminder that your body still holds you, even after all it has been through. Twice a day, barefoot if you can, stand near a wall. Lift one foot gently. Count. 10 seconds. Maybe 20. Try both sides. Let your body wobble. Let it learn. Write the numbers down. Next week, you will be surprised how much steadier you feel. Your first milestone. If you can stand for 20 seconds on each side, you have reduced your stroke risk by up to 35%, according to research from Tokyo in 2023. There was a moment, about 5 weeks into my recovery, when I thought I had made it. My balance was better. I was sleeping through the night. I could even walk around the block without fear. But then, one rainy afternoon, I bent down to tie my shoe, and something in my lower back spasmed. Not hard, just sharp enough to stop me, and I froze again. Not because of the pain, but because of the panic. That is what stroke survivors do not often tell you. Healing is not linear. It loops. One step forward, half a step back, then a pause. And if you are not careful, those small setbacks can steal your confidence. But this time, I did not retreat. I adapted. That night, I searched for something I had read about months ago: floor-to-stand training. In Japan, it is a part of everyday movement therapy for older adults, especially in rural areas where help is not always nearby. It is simple, safe, and powerful. Here is the practice, seated to floor and back up in slow, controlled phases. Start by sitting on the edge of your bed or a low chair. Use your hands to help lower your body into a seated position on the floor, cross-legged, knees bent, or sideways, whatever feels safe. Then, using your arms, legs, and core, push yourself back up one side at a time if needed. You can use props, pillows, a yoga block, or a sturdy chair to help you. The goal is not to do it right. The goal is to teach your body the path back up, because after 60, the ability to rise from the floor is one of the strongest predictors of long-term independence. Research from Osaka University showed that seniors who practice this movement just 2 to 3 times per week reduce their fall-related hospitalization risk by 42% over 12 months. That is not magic. That is mechanics. You are not just strengthening muscles. You are mapping confidence into your nervous system. Every rise becomes a reminder. I am still capable. But safety first. If you have had a hip replacement, severe osteoporosis, or are post-surgical, start by visualizing the motion first. Then try the seated version on a low surface. This is not a test. It is a practice. And do not compare yourself to who you were before. Compare yourself to yesterday. This week, practice lowering yourself gently to the floor and rising back up. Slow, careful, no rush. Even if it is just once a day. Use your hands, use pillows, use grace. The goal is not speed. It is reclaiming trust in your own strength. Next week, time how long it takes you to move from the floor to standing. Under 15 seconds is considered a very strong mark of independence. Important note: if you have a history of dizziness, severe osteoporosis, or significant knee pain, try the slower modified version, or consult your doctor before beginning. You are not just getting stronger, you are getting wiser. That is the most powerful kind of progress. If you had told me 2 months ago that I would be standing on one leg, sleeping through the night, and smiling in the mirror again, I would have laughed. Not because I did not believe in healing, but because I did not believe it could happen this simply. No gym, no supplements, no grueling schedules. Just me, my breath, my feet, a wall, and a notebook. And yet, here I am. What changed was not just my body, it was how I related to it. I stopped managing symptoms and started measuring signals. I stopped trying to fix everything at once and instead trained one system at a time: balance, breath, focus, flow. It did not happen overnight, but it happened faster than I thought. So here is the same 4 to 8 week plan that helped me. You can start today, wherever you are. Week 1 and 2, reconnect. Do daily heel raises, 2 sets of 10 repetitions using a 2-3-2 tempo. Practice 4-7-8, breathing every night for 4 rounds. Check the mirror and log your symptoms each morning. The goal is to restore calm in your nervous system and begin rebuilding body awareness. Week 3 and 4, stabilize. Do one-leg stands, working up to 20 or 30 seconds on each side. Practice floor-to-stand training 2 or 3 times per week. Log your hydration, sleep hours, and any episodes of dizziness. The goal is to improve balance, circulation, and safety reflexes. Week 5 and 6, build confidence. Add gentle challenges like music or light distractions. Count backward or close your eyes briefly. Increase repetitions, holds, and movement variety. Share your progress with a loved one or a support group. The goal is to deepen neuroplasticity and create accountability. Week 7 and 8, sustain and track. Retest all key markers. Your one-leg stand time. Your chair stand test, how many times you can rise and sit in 30 seconds. Your wall push-up hold time. Your waistline in centimeters. Your resting heart rate. And your sleep score, if you have one. The goal is to see visible and measurable progress. You do not need perfection, you need a path. And now, you have one. Remember, in neuroscience, the brain strengthens what it repeats. So whether you are doing 4 repetitions or 40, your brain does not judge. It records. It rewires. Choose one thing to track this week, maybe how long you can stand on one leg, or how many times you can sit and stand from a chair in 30 seconds. Write that number down on Saturday. Then do it again next Saturday. That is how change reveals itself. After 8 weeks, you will not only see your body change, you will feel your confidence returning in every movement. Because this is not just a routine, it is a return to yourself. I used to believe healing was something hospitals gave you, a prescription, a surgery, a miracle. Now I know it is something much quieter, much closer. It is in the breath before you panic. The moment you choose to stand when no one is watching. The pause before you dismiss a tiny signal and whisper, "Maybe this matters." That is where healing lives. The greatest myth about stroke is that once it happens, your story is over, that the body forgets how to rebuild, that the brain shuts its doors and throws away the key. But I have seen the opposite. In myself, in others, in people who started over at 68, 74, even 89. Because healing is not about reversing time. It is about rewriting how time expresses itself through you. I think about Margaret often, the woman who first taught me that so-called minor strokes leave major wounds. I remember how she whispered, "If only someone had told me." That is why I made this video, so no one has to say that again. So that you, watching right now, know this. Your brain is not your enemy. It is trying to speak to you. Through wobbly legs, through a sleepless night, through a slurred word that comes and goes. And if you listen, not with fear, but with curiosity, you can meet it halfway. And when you meet your brain with care, it rewires, it grows, it restores what seemed lost. You are not powerless. You are participating. And every step, every breath, every tremble counts. Start small, stay consistent, honor your progress. And above all, never confuse silence for safety again. Because the conversation with your body does not end when symptoms fade. It is only beginning. So if you have been told it is too late, too slow, or too hard, remember this. Your brain is still listening, still learning, still waiting for one more signal of hope. Give it that signal today. And tomorrow, when you wake up, thank your mind for another chance to rebuild. That is how independence is restored. One signal, one belief, one day at a time.